I feel like I started my career, and I was in finance at the time, with expenses, 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 and how you're reducing and contracting the healthcare system. So that was a significant piece of where I began my leadership journey, is how you constantly did more with less. Coming out of that, I was able to, at my last organization, start to work more on the growth side, and realized you can't just cut, you have to grow. And then how do you grow? How do you invest in different programs? What are the smart ways to grow, and all of these types of things? So I brought that experience when I came to Freighter. We had opportunities on expenses, and we've definitely gone at that. And our mantra is always to keep the expenses coming down faster than the reimbursement cuts, that we're seeing, or limitations that are seeing. And that's becoming a harder and harder challenge every day as your workforce costs go up exponentially. And it seems like those reimbursement cuts, particularly from the government, are coming faster and quicker at us all the time. Got to manage that. On the other hand, we have been extraordinarily successful at growth. And growth really helps you. The biggest thing that growth has helped us do is it spreads those capacity costs. The more patients you have through the massive fixed chassis that we have, there you go. You're just more efficient by doing that. But once you've mastered that, you understand that growth is exciting, but it's still an issue that you have to manage. And so when your hospitals are on capacity red, because they've hit 90% capacity, then they've hit 100% capacity, that is a problem you have to manage.
As a senior leader in a growing institution in a changing healthcare environment, I think it comes down to two things. One is, staying fully engaged and staying as passionate about the work to be done as I was 40 years ago. The nature of what that is obviously different. But the other important part at this stage is making sure that the next generation of leaders are prepared and are here as much as possible. And for that reason, we do have a well-organized succession planning effort that is targeted at first, hopefully developing as many people as we possibly can to step into leadership roles, and create a cadre of individuals here who have that kind of capability, to be matched up with individuals who would come in from the outside in order to give the organization the benefit of both continuity and the enormous benefit, I think, that comes from continuity of leadership from a cultural standpoint, but hopefully we'll see the organization be infused with new and different ways of thinking in the years ahead as well.
Well, my role as the CEO in a evolving, very fast growth health organization has been, first of all, not be from healthcare. It's the only one I've ever been in, so I don't really have a context to comparing it to being in another system. But what I do know is that healthcare is evolving at an incredibly rapid rate. And what scale today doesn't mean scale tomorrow, and what might be considered good and important isn't necessarily going to be tomorrow. So agility, I think, is absolutely critical, and being willing to think differently as the context in which we're operating in changes.
And stop worrying about the naysayers and start to really change the DNA of healthcare. Take your medical staff and figure out what you need to do to get them excited. I'll tell you what we do. We spent a lot of money on a leadership academy to totally change how our medical staff thinks. And we've recognized 20% will always get it, 15% will never get it. We've gone after that middle. We let the 20% be the leaders. We ignore the 15%. We call that administrative hospice. We just let them be comfortable. And we've concentrated on the 65% that will change our culture, so that they're not thinking incrementally and they're taking a no-limits approach with me. That's what I would suggest that everybody do.